Today's video is our final featured build of the year, sponsored by Thermaltake and the Tower 250, which is Thermaltake's latest mini ITX case based on the popular The Tower series. It's a smaller version of the Tower 600 and 300. It supports mini ITX motherboards, graphics cards up to 360mm long, up to 820mm fans, and up to 360mm radiator installation on the right hand side. So let's see what we can do with the latest The Tower case. So this is Thermaltake's latest The Tower 250. That's how you have to say it. It is called The Tower, not Tower 250. It's available in several different colour options, including white, black, matcha green and hydrangea blue. In the US it's priced about $130, but UK price and availability is to be confirmed. The Tower 250 features Thermaltake's classic octagonal prism design in a small form factor that doesn't compromise on cooling performance, with 360mm radiator support, and includes two CT120 fans with the potential for installing up to 820mm fans. It can be mounted vertically out of the box or horizontally using the stand that can be purchased separately and upgraded with the optional 3.9-inch LCD screen to display real-time hardware info. The Tower 250 is also equipped with tool-free panel removal, a removable side radiator bracket for simple installation, storage support for up to two 2.5-inch SSDs, and a handy top-mounted front I/O for easy access. So the main focus of this sponsored build is to take a look at this new The Tower 250 from Thermaltake, which has just been announced or just been launched recently. Let's not hang around at all and let's dive straight into the case and take a closer look at what you can actually do with this case and see what you get for your money with The Tower 250. It's quite a compact case compared to the other The Towers, but it still shares that same design principle with this octagonal prism shape and this vertical orientation. You can mount the case also horizontally with the stand that is available separately. The majority of the panels can be removed tool-free. We'll start with this front glass, so you press it in at the top there and it just releases quite easily on some quick release pins. The white version has completely clear tempered glass. The side pieces of tempered glass also just pull out. Again, they're on just quick release pins. They can both be removed very easily, and again, it's clear tempered glass. Top panel can also be removed. Just pull that off from the top. Inside you can see there's a dust filter in here, so you can use this potentially for intake if you need, but the case comes set up from the factory with two Thermaltake CT120 fans in the top as exhausts. Side panel removal is easy also. Again, it's all quick release, so you just pull the side panels out from the top and then they lift out easily. Again, there are dust filters in here. These can be removed for cleaning quite easily. Both side panels have dust filters built in and both of them are removed in the same way. Again, just pull it out at the top. Just a couple of magnets that hold it at the top and it hooks in at the bottom. Again, another dust filter in this side panel. You notice on this left-hand side of the case, there's no mounting for fans or for radiators on here. It's all on this right-hand side because the graphics card will be quite close to this side panel, which is good and bad because the graphics card will act as an intake, but you can't install any additional fans on that side. Potentially you'll not need them anyway with the graphics card fans being intakes here. This bottom panel also pushes out quite easily. It's on, again, quick release pins, the dust filter in that can be removed, and these little vented panels on either side here. They can also have the dust filters removed. The right hand side bracket you can install up to 360mm radiators. That obviously also includes 120s, 140s, 240s, 280 radiators. That's really good for a mini ITX case. There's no real other place to install a radiator. Technically, maybe you could get one on the floor here potentially, but this isn't really a case designed with custom loop cooling in mind. A 360 AIO radiator will be excellent for an ITX case and the kind of CPU that you're going to be running in this system. In terms of motherboard support, so it's ITX motherboards only. Graphics cards up to 360mm long can be installed in the case, and ATX power supplies up to 200mm long. Maximum CPU air cooler, so a tower cooler on the CPU, is up to 210mm tall. I think that should cover any CPU air cooler available on the market. In terms of other fan installation, so up at the top here, you can install two 120 fans. Two 120s come pre-installed. On the right hand side, if you're not installing a radiator there, you can install either three 120 or three 140mm fans. And on this power supply cover, you can also install a single 120 or a single 140mm fan. There's also a couple of fan mounts on the rear panel. You can install either two 120 or two 140mm fans there. This side radiator bracket can be removed for installation, which is good. There's just a couple of screws that hold it in, and with the screws removed, it kind of just falls back at an angle, and then you can remove the bracket, put it onto your bench or your work area, install a radiator or fans there, then install it all back to the case. If we spin it round to the back of the case, there is a large dust filter on here too that's also removable. It's the perforated steel type dust filter held to the case magnetically. Down at the bottom, cut out for the power supply. This rear panel also removes tool free. Again, it's just held in place with some quick release pins there, and it hooks in at the bottom of the case. You notice down here on the power supply shroud, there's actually a adapter plate for SFX power supplies. It will accept either an SFX or ATX power supply. I'm going to be using an ATX power supply. Up here, there's also another panel that's removable. There's a thumb screw in there, but it is a little bit tight, that screw from the factory. You remove that screw, and then this panel just slides upwards and comes out. On here, you can install your storage drives, either a single 3.5 inch drive or two 2.5 inch SSDs can be installed here. Cable management's all done down either side of these columns on the back here. There's some plastic clips that keep it in place. Cut out here with a rubber grommet on to pass cables through. A couple more cutouts down either side and one at the top there. So cable management wise, it looks good. Quick look at the floor of the case. You'll notice there's four big chunky plastic feet on the floor of the case. They've all got anti-vibration rubber pads on there. The case is quite stable when it is upright. You notice there's a dust filter that pulls out. It's a plastic frame with nylon dust filter inserts. Then when you've got that removed, you can see the bottom of the case is very open and ventilated for airflow to the power supply, and possibly more airflow in through a power supply mounted fan. That's a brief rundown on the features and specs of the Tower 250. If you want to see the specifications and features in more details, make sure you head over to kitguru.net. There'll be a written page with some more still images of the case over on there. In terms of the other Thermaltake hardware that will be in the build, so the CPU cooler is the Thermaltake TH360V2 Ultra ARGB sync. It's the Snow edition to match the case. It's available to purchase in the UK now. You can pick it up from Scan at around £140. It is also available in black. The Thermaltake TH360V2 Ultra is equipped with three CT120 ARGB sync fans with Magforce 2 pogo pin modular design for a quick assembly and single cable connectivity, as well as an industrial CPU block cap design featuring a 480 by 480 resolution LCD screen to display system stats and real-time hardware information. And it features enhanced cooling via a slim 27mm thick radiator, high performance copper cold plate, a high quality reliable pump, and low evaporation tubing for zero maintenance. As I say, it's available in black and white, this cooler, and it comes with all the mounting hardware needed to install the cooler on both Intel and AMD desktop platforms. The fans in the system, so the other fans as well as the ones on the radiator, are Thermaltake CT120 fans. Again, in this white colour scheme. They are available in both black and white, and they're also available in forward and reverse blade versions. Triple packs of the CT120EX RGB sync fans are available from Scan, priced at £50 in white and £35 for the black versions. Thermaltake CT120EX ARGB feature Magforce 2 pogo pin connectivity, 9 addressable ARGB LEDs that can be connected directly to 3-pin 5V motherboard headers and controlled and configured via motherboard RGB software. They're equipped with a PWM speed range of 500 to 2000 RPM, maximum air pressure of 2.95mm H2O, max airflow of 68 cubic feet per minute, and a max noise output of just 25.8 decibels. Power supply in the system is this Thermaltake Tough Power GT Snow 850 watt. It's an 80 plus gold rated unit. It's fully modular and it's ATX3 and PCIe 5 ready. It's equipped with PCIe 12 volt 2x6 support for dedicated power connection connection to the latest graphics cards, and fully modular cables, as well as a powerful single 12-volt rail, LLC and DC to DC circuit design for stable operation and enhanced voltage regulation. Also comes with a full set of modular cables in white with white connectors on there, so they'll really suit a white build. For the rest of the hardware in the system, the CPU is an AMD Ryzen 7 7800X3D. Motherboard is an MSI NPG B650i Edge Wi-Fi. Graphics card is the Palit RTX 4070 Ti Super Gaming Pro in white. And for memory, it's a 32GB kit of Thermaltake ToughRAM XG RGB D5 DDR5 6000 megatransfers per second. We know everything else: the Tower 250 case, the TH360 V2 Ultra, CT120 fans, and that GT 850 watt white power supply. So let's get on with the build and see what we can do. So there we go, there's the build complete. I hope you enjoyed watching the time lapse. It was quite a short time lapse this compared to some that I've done, but it is quite a basic build compared to some of the custom loop builds I've done in the past. I've got the AIO mounted on the right hand side of the case, 360mm AIO. I actually swapped the fans to the CT120EX reverse blade versions, so you can see the fans on the inside and the RGB lighting, but that is working as an intake, so pulling cool air in from the side. Graphics card is also kind of working as an intake. The fans are very close to this side panel. That's around about a 3-slot graphics card. That is probably the maximum thickness you want to be running in this case, but it's a good card. It's a 4070 Ti Super, fits nicely into the case. The whole aesthetics of the case look good. The RGB lighting, I've set that to kind of a white light. It has a slightly blue tinge to it, but it is more of a white light to match with this wintry white theme build. Building a system inside this case, it is really easy. Even though it is quite a small case, it's probably not as compact as some ITX cases, but it is a really easy case to build with. Everything just fits in place. Even the 360 AIO, it's not really a struggle to get it in there. The only thing with it is you have to run it with the tubes at the top, which isn't probably optimal for the lifespan of the AIO, and maybe you might hear some noise from the pump in that orientation, but it's impossible to run it with the tubes at the bottom. It's too close to the power supply and there's just no space to run up the tubing. Even with an SFX power supply in there, I don't think it would work, so I don't really see with a 360 AIO any reason to run an SFX over an ATX unit. So the ATX power supply, that fits in good. Cable management's fine, no problems really. It's a little tight, feeding some cables through and connecting up to the ITX motherboard. In terms of the thermal performance, so I've run a quick 3D Mark Speedway stress test. Graphics card's running at about 65 degrees C under load, which is perfectly normal for this card with this cooler. CPU temperature under load, that's around 78, 79 degrees C, and that's with a custom fan curve set. So I've got it so that the fans don't really ramp up at all until about 70 degrees, and the system's really nice and quiet. So that's the Thermaltake The Tower 250 white build. Let me know what you think of the Tower 250. Let me know what you think of the build in the comment section. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If you have, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Hit subscribe if you've not already done so. If you enjoy what we do here at Kit Guru and you want to help support us, don't forget to head over to the store, pick up some of our merch, or you can even subscribe to our Patreon. And as always, if you want to catch up on all the in-depth technical reviews, head over to the website.